A woman won a chance for 10 minutes of free shopping. For the next 10 minutes, every item she put in her cart would be rung up for free. But she didn't grab a single thing she wanted for herself. Instead, she rushed to the refrigerated section and loaded up on steaks that the kids loved. Next came all sorts of canned goods. Every piece of food was part of her plan. The 2 store clerks were a huge help too. Finally, she picked out imported fruits that her whole family had never tried before. As the countdown ended, Barbie walked out loaded down with groceries. She happily stuffed her fridge full. Her husband, though, didn't look happy at all. The whole family sat around the table to share the food, but he just threw one piece after another onto the floor. The family was used to this. There was a reason the man had become like this. When he and his wife first started their family, he was a promising writer, and she was a singer with a voice like an angel. Then an accident stole his beautiful singing voice. To make ends meet, he had to take a job as an ozone worker in a factory. Barbie never left his side. Over the years, they raised 10 children. Life was tight, but they were still somewhat happy. Barbie often entered jingle writing contests to get new things for the house. Her husband always felt deeply inferior on these occasions. For years, he'd let himself go. Other than drinking, he'd contributed almost nothing to the family. That night, maybe it was the sight of the full, eye-catching fridge. Or maybe his favorite team had lost the game. Her husband not only yelled insults at the neighbors, but also took his rage out on the fridge Barbie had won. The kids were so scared they trembled, and Barbie's attempts to calm him down did little good. In the end, Jack's behavior got the police called. Only then did he snap back to his senses. No one could really understand Barbie. Milk for 10 kids was a huge expense. Barbie could never even fill each child's cup all the way. Before Jack went to work, Barbie asked him for money to buy milk. But when he pulled his pockets inside out, the coins he had weren't even enough to buy a single carton. The kids never had any hope for their father. Desperate to scrape together enough money for milk, she started searching her husband's pockets. Just then, her daughter came over. She'd originally wanted to change her little brother's diaper, but had made a total mess downstairs. Barbie didn't scold her. Instead, she patiently cleaned up the mess. Right at that moment, the milkman arrived, knocking repeatedly and hurrying her to open the door. Barbie finally answered once she cleaned up the kids. She asked if she could buy the milk on credit and pay him back the next week. The milkman looked extremely reluctant. Just then, the mailman showed up with a letter. Inside was a few dollars in prize money she'd won from a contest. And just like that, the kids had milk to drink. Her daughter apologized to her mother for making such a mess of the floor. But Barbie told her, "If you hadn't made that mess and kept me busy, I wouldn't have run into the mailman delivering the prize money right then. It was all fate's plan." So the girl ended up being praised instead. A few days later, Barbie received another letter. This time, she'd won 10 minutes of free shopping. Barbie shared her plan with her husband. When he heard she was going to bring home a bunch of steaks for the kids, Jack, who just started to regain a little confidence, sank back into inferiority. Thankfully, Barbie thought to ask what he wanted. The only thing Jack wanted was a shrimp cocktail, something he'd never tasted before. The next day, Barbie went on a shopping spree at the supermarket. Everything went smoothly according to plan. When Jack found out she'd gotten the shrimp cocktail, tears slid unconsciously from the corners of his eyes. But after downing 2 drinks, Jack changed again. Barbie didn't say a word. Instead, she pulled out the prepared shrimp cocktail. Faced with his wife's kindness, Jack snapped back to his senses instantly. Barbie kept winning small prizes, one after another. Life at home got much better because of them, but Jack's drinking habit never changed. Later, their oldest daughter became a nurse, and 2 of their sons signed with a baseball team. Barbie felt like she was living in a hole. The kids leaving home was like escaping from this dark, sunless hole, a hole she dug herself. One day, Jack got off work early. As usual, he brought home 2 bottles of wine. The milkman called out from outside the door. Barbie asked Jack for money to pay for the milk, but he'd spent it all on wine. Barbie had no choice but to swallow her pride and ask for credit again. Humiliated by the milkman's cold stare, she felt utterly ashamed.
You think money grows on trees?
Those stupid notebooks are the only reason this family isn't living on the street.
Hey, you want to trade places with me?
Jesus! He was yelling at her!
What did you do to her?
It's an accident. Honest to God, Tubby, I wouldn't hurt your mother in a million
I think
years.
somebody should get Mrs. Bidlack.
The kids were hostile toward Jack. He tried to pick one up, but accidentally fell on top of Barbie. Barbie bit back the pain and stood up from the broken glass. With a neighbor's help, she went to the hospital. What made her sad wasn't her injury, but that the kids would lose their milk for a week. Jack sat on the stairs, not knowing what to do. Barbie finally came home that night. Luckily, her ligaments weren't damaged. Life brought new hope again. Barbie had won another contest. This time, a sports car, plus an all-expenses-paid weekend trip to New York. But just as Barbie was packing her bags, her son got arrested by the police for theft. She missed her chance to go to New York because she had to deal with her son's trouble. That night, Barbie sat in the sports car, lost in thought. Her son apologized to her, but Barbie didn't blame him. Over the years, she'd paid far greater prices than this. Whenever life felt unbearable, Barbie always won some small prize to help get by. This time, Barbie had won the biggest prize of her life, but her daughter couldn't feel happy about it. She thought her mother's efforts were worthless, and she knew her father would never change. Barbie knew that too, of course. She told her daughter to take it easy. She just needed to keep going her own way, and not waste her good mood on things that were set in stone. Barbie cashed out part of the prize to pay off the house mortgage. On the day she went to the brand's headquarters to claim her award, she got to travel in a way. It was the first time she'd eaten a meal cooked by someone else. The first time she used plates that didn't need washing. The first time she soaked in a bathtub that she didn't have to scrub. And the first time she slept in a bed that she didn't have to make. After that, Barbie never won another prize. In the years that followed, she sent each child off to start their own lives. It wasn't until the youngest one left the hole that Barbie finally felt she'd completed her life's mission. On the day she passed away, all the kids came back. What made Barbie proudest of all? Her daughter had written a book about her story.